hitting a golf ball is more than just a golf club and the ball. There's a lot of math, there's a lot of physics, a lot of science behind it. And I'm with Phil Mickelson. He is a pro golfer, just won the British Open. Tell me about this. You know, how much of this science and math and physics do you apply to your game?
I use it in everything I do relative to golf. I use it in my equipment, and I use it in how I practice. How I practice, I use the numbers of what areas I need to practice the most. Knowing that there's an exponential fall off on putts made every foot outside of 3 feet, I focus on my short game on getting it inside of 3 feet, because every foot is a huge difference. But what really changed my career in the last year and allowed me to win the British Open and hit the 2-3 woods on 17 to have a tap-in birdie was the technology in the 3-wood. By moving the center of gravity forward, it reduced the amount of spin. And because I naturally spin the ball a lot, by getting rid of a lot of the spin, it allowed me to hit these boring flight trajectories through the wind that we have at the British Open, allowed me to play my best golf I've ever played over there and win my first claret jug.
You know, and it takes people to design all these things. It takes engineers. You know, did you kind of study any of this when you were in school?
I always enjoyed it. I did study it, but I ended up going to Arizona State and graduating with a degree in psychology because I had a teacher that was passionate about psychology, and that passion spilled over to me, and that was the direction that I went. But we're losing our students in the STEM fields, the science, technology, engineering, mathematics. We need teachers to do what my teacher did for me. And that's why we have this Mickelson ExxonMobil Teachers Academy, to give the 3rd through 5th grade teachers the skills and techniques that they need to go back to the classroom and inspire their kids in those areas.
Well, speaking of ExxonMobil, who is part of the sponsorship of this program, I'm with Emil Jacobs. And at Exxon, you know, do you find it hard to get the quality people you need right out of college that have a lot of engineering training?
We don't find it to be difficult, but we have to look high and low. I mean, we recruit worldwide, so we recruit in the US, Europe, Asia, and we get the best and brightest people. But if you look across the industry and across the high-tech fields, whether it's energy, electronics, healthcare, there's a shortage. So the science, technology, engineering, math disciplines, there is a shortage worldwide. Today in the US, there are 3 million jobs that we would like to fill across the U.S. that require a science and math background, and we can't find qualified people to get those jobs. So it's not just an ExxonMobil issue, it's a global issue, and it's certainly an issue in the U.S.
Well, and you can rectify that by starting early, by getting the teachers to get the kids involved, you know, as young as like 5th grade, right?
Right. What we found, research shows us that if you wait until middle school or high school to try to get a student excited about science and math, it's too late. You need to get them excited in the 3rd grade, the 4th grade, the 5th grade. If they get excited, then they'll hang in there and they'll work through the tough curriculum work in middle school, high school, and college. I mean, it's tough, it's difficult, but if you can get them excited early, then you can keep them all the way through college.
So let's go back to golf, and let's talk about you applying these types of principles to your game, because as you were saying, you know, it had a lot to do with what was inside the club, and that must have been a real switch for you to kind of change your mindset on all that.
The biggest problem in my career has been driving the golf ball, and it really started about 9 or 10 years ago when the technology was getting heads bigger and bigger. And what was happening is as the driver's size head got bigger, the center of gravity moved back. As the center of gravity moves back, the spin rate goes up. And so I was overspinning my drives, hitting them shorter and crooked. And what I would end up doing is trying to use loft, de-lofting the club to counterbalance the too much spin. And so this caused a swing problem. By simply keeping the center of gravity up against the face, I've been able to increase the loft on my driver. I've been able to get the right launch conditions and lower the spin rate and get the ball to bore through the air, and I don't have to manipulate it. So I've been able to make the same swing with my irons as well as my woods across the board, and it's really reinvigorated my career, I should say, because I've never driven the ball this well. I saw it at the British Open. I saw it at the U.S. Open. I came close and lost 5 weeks ago in the U.S. Open, but I drove the ball great there, and I'm really excited about the rest of the year and upcoming years because of what technology has done to my driving.
As you mentioned, you've had a phenomenal year this year. You've had some really great wins. What's your next big goal? What's the next big one?
I always look forward to the next major championship, so I'm looking forward to the PGA here in New York, up in Rochester in 2 weeks. I'm also looking forward to playing at Liberty National in about 4 weeks to start our FedEx Cup Series. The Barclays Classic is the first event of the FedEx Cup right here at Liberty National, just across the bay.
All right, good friends over there at Barclays, huh?
They are.
That's Phil Mickelson. He is, of course, the pro golfer. Don't have to explain that. And Emil Jacobs from ExxonMobil. And I'm Deborah Borchardt with The Street.